is a public university. Public means that we serve the public, and that is from people of modest backgrounds all the way through the wealthy come to Eastern. The parents of these students actually pay taxes in their home states. And so I always wondered, why couldn't they get access to public higher education if they're paying taxes? That's really the philosophy behind making sure that a public education is available to everyone, no matter what your status is in this country.
Although we're all undocumented, we're all very diverse. We all have different backgrounds, not only from the states that we're from, but from our home countries as well. So it's been very interesting getting to know everyone, sharing our stories, our experiences, and just creating this very unique community on campus. I'm from Georgia, and in Georgia, I joined an organization called Freedom University, which is a modern-day freedom school for undocumented students based in Atlanta. There are many undocumented students in Georgia that can't go to college. Georgia is a locked-out state, so it essentially bans undocumented students financially because it has an in-state tuition ban, and it also prohibits us from attending the top 3 universities now. Thankfully, Freedom U was there that helped us reclaim our dignity. Everything I learned at Freedom University and other Freedom University students as well that got the scholarship to Eastern really helped set the framework at Freedom at Eastern, the organization here on campus.
We do a lot of advocacy for undocumented immigrants. We fundraise for our programs. We have programs for our club members to get more involved within the community. And if anything should arise, like politically or just in the news, we are very quick to act on it. So like rally up, like get word out.
When our students came on campus, they kind of just hit the ground running, and they started Freedom at Eastern. They became part of SGA, and that's something that that was ingrained within them, that they knew was important to become active in those different clubs and organizations on campus.
So we started off with little trainings and workshops just to reclaim our dignity, saying no human being is illegal.
We spent a lot of time on my management team before we committed to accepting the students to talk about how can we help them come to Eastern and be successful. The infrastructure around their academic endeavors had to be to make it so that they knew that they had a place to go to in times when they really needed questions answered or they personally needed support.
The role of staff here is one of the most important roles to make these students feel welcome.
I had an incident with my dad who was stopped by the police and he was detained. And so being in Connecticut, it was in the middle of a semester, it was just like crazy, you know, because it's just, I have all these thoughts, I didn't know how to react.
She then came to the team leader, Maribel Sanchez, and said, my father was arrested, I'm leaving. This was in the spring.
She was able to speak to the Dean of Students at the time, which is now our Vice President of Affairs, and then she also got in contact with Dr. Núñez. So it's just, all three of them were super accommodating in talking to my teachers and making sure like I had everything I needed before I went back to Georgia.
And then we took up a collection and for her to be able to fly to Georgia during spring break. So we paid for her airfare and made sure that she went, and she agreed only during spring break rather. And that allowed her to come back and finish her courses successfully.
In that brief period, we were like able to get my dad back and settle everything that we had to settle there. It meant a lot.
It is really important in this political climate where people are expressing points of view that are hateful, racist, or it's full of anger and meanness, and it's things that we don't agree with, we should speak out against it.
It was actually last year around this time, September 5th, there was word that Trump was going to rescind DACA. So we had just came back from summer break, and we were like, what are we going to do? Are we going to have a protest? 30 of us met in the Student Center. We started making posters, huge banners. We contacted media. We contacted community organizers. President Núñez was informed, and she asked if she could speak at the event. So just having her support drove more media, more students and faculty.
I'm on video, actually screaming to the top of my lungs in the quad, these students are important and the movement is important.
And so I say to you that for the next 6 months, we've got to fight. We're not going to... I was sad yesterday, and I was sad this morning. But today I am ready to talk to every elected official in this country with every breath that I take and say to them, this is not fair, it's not right, it's not decent, and it's not American.
We teamed up with President Núñez, so whenever we needed help, she would always be there for us 100%. If you want to know how to best help undocumented students, you should ask undocumented students.
Be willing to learn, especially if you're not a person that is coming from, if you're not an undocumented person. Be willing to listen.
There's a culture on every college campus, a university campus, and that culture is in many ways shaped by the leadership of the institution. So when I say these students are welcome, I can't bang my fist and say these students are welcome. I have to make the rational argument to the faculty and the staff of why I think they're welcome. We weren't pushing people into accepting undocumented students. We were asking them to consider the political, economic, and moral arguments that I was making. And eventually everybody came on board. My life has always been looking at my professional life as a vehicle for giving back the opportunity that this country gave to my family. My father came from Puerto Rico by himself to get a job because Operation Bootstrap had just occurred in Puerto Rico, which was the industrialization of Puerto Rico, and he was a farmer, raised on a farm, parents were farmers, and he didn't have a job. So he came to this country, similar to the undocumented students' parents, looking for a better life. And he always had a dream, and his dream was that his children would go to college, that they would accomplish more than he accomplished.
Someday you're going to graduate from Eastern, and I'm going to shake your hand, and you're going to look me in the eyes, and you're going to leave Eastern proud of your education. I expect a lot from you, not only success at Eastern, but that you will have a life full of opportunity and success, and that you will always say, I'm so proud that I did this, and now I want to help others. Congratulations and welcome to Eastern.